Are you manifesting a specific person? Well, let me explain to you why we don't chase them. We never chase them. We are not chasers. No, the days of doing that are long gone. Long gone. I'm also going to answer why we don't ever have to have the talk with our specific person, ever. Okay? Saddle up, partners. Hello, my fellow flawless, limitless, sexy, sassy, saucy HBICs. How are you on this lovely morning, afternoon, or evening? How are you all? I hope you are all doing fabulous and choosing to be the versions of yourselves that are in the most amazing realities. Yes, the versions of self that have the desire, whatever it is you're manifesting. I hope that's who you're choosing to be. If you're new here and have no idea what I'm talking about, well, let me explain. First of all, how you doing? I'm Kimberly, and I'm obsessed with getting what I want. I'm obsessed with mastering manifestation and really living the life I love. And I'm assuming that's why you're watching manifestation content, because you're looking for the same thing. So if that's the case and you can handle this sass, please subscribe and come back and see me and be my friend and let me know that you've subscribed, because YouTube doesn't always tell me. I'm going to skip through my normal intro and I'm just going to say, if you need help figuring out what's going on between you and your manifestation, please feel free to email me at manifestingwithkimberly@gmail.com. All of my coaching options are in the drop box below. They're in the screens that just went by. So, did you understand that? That meant Dropbox below, okay? I was told in a comment that it wasn't appreciated when I talk slow and enunciate. It's like I'm talking to you and assuming you're stupid. Hi, this is just how I talk. I talk with sarcasm and I enunciate whatever I feel like enunciating, okay? If I thought you were stupid, I wouldn't be making content for you to watch. Yeah. I think that, though, is stupid. I do think that's stupid, that you're assuming that I think you're stupid. You know what that tells me? That tells me what you're really secretly worrying about. What you're on the defensive of. Come on, you know that's a part of self-concept. You should know better. Just saying. Anyway, this is just how I talk. Okay? This is how I talk in my day-to-day life. It's not just putting it on for the camera. This is really me. Okay, anybody that's ever coached with me, this is me. This is how I talk. I have another channel where I'm just bringing you along with me places. This is me, okay? We're not turning it on for the camera. This is me all the time. Gosh. Anyway, let's get into specific person. First and foremost, your days of chasing people are done. Once you've decided to be a conscious manifester, handling your 3D life is gonna change the way we handle it, I should say. It's gonna change, hopefully. Now, I'm certainly not trying to imply that, everything about yourself needs to change in your 3D. I don't mean that. I know we're having a human experience and we're not necessarily gonna stop being a human, right? We still gotta live day to day in our 3D, but here's the thing. Let me ask you this. If you're someone who chased specific person or chased anybody else in your past, did it work for you? Did it work? Did those old behaviors work for you? And let me just say, it may have worked once in a while, but did you keep the person? Are you still in that loving, fulfilling, committed relationship? Probably not. That's why you're watching this content, right? So the way I see it is the areas of life that we want to experience change, the areas of life that we want to start getting what we want, well, handling them, especially the way we identify with them, Well, we're certainly not going to do it the way we used to do it, right? If chasing has never satisfactorily, satisfactorily, I don't think that's a word. If chasing them really hasn't brought you the success and the love and the fulfillment, then why in the hell would we want to keep doing it? It hasn't yielded what we wanted, right? Probably not. So this is number one why we stop chasing. First of all, chasing, being desperate, that's a state of consciousness, okay? It's an energy. And that energy sucks. Think about in your life if you've ever had the experience where you could tell someone was relentlessly chasing you and was desperate for you, but you weren't interested. Wasn't it annoying? I know I used to get annoyed as shit. I don't want you. I don't want this relationship with you. I don't want to be with you. Stop bugging me. Okay, it was cute at first and it was endearing, but then it would get annoying, right? And it never, ever changed my mind on that person. If anything, it would make me lose respect at some point. I'm just saying, I'm keeping it real. Maybe that makes me sound like a bitch, but I'm just saying the truth. That's my logical explanation of why we're going to stop chasing, is think about when it's been done for you. You know you don't like it. I would literally lose respect for that person. And I know that doesn't sound very nice, but it is the truth. So there's our number one reason. And that's a logical, literal reason, 3D world-wise, okay? But when it comes to who you want to be, you need to decide, what do you want to experience in love? What do you want to experience in your relationship? How do you want to be treated? How do you want your specific person to show up for you? And you're going to decide that not based off of how they are behaving right now, especially if they're not what you're loving. If they're acting like twats right now, and that's for the men or the women. If your specific person is not currently showing up the way you prefer, then you need to really sincerely ask yourself, what do you want to experience from them? And if you're unaware of why you're experiencing what you're experiencing with them, you really need to take a look at what do you believe about yourself versus love and relationships. Because chances are that's going to need to change too. And by change, I just mean what you're identifying with. Okay? If you've been the person chasing, begging, oh, please be with me. Here, I'm going to send you 1 million texts today to make you interact with me so I can feel safe and secure that you're still there, or that you might still want me. All you're doing is pushing. You're pushing. And in literal, logical, 3D terms, you look desperate and it's not attractive in any way, shape, or form. Just saying. Okay, sorry to be mean, but that's just the truth. In manifestation, we don't have to do anything out here if we don't want to. What we do is we start placing our attention and our focus or our awareness on who we want to be. We want to be the one chased. We want to be the ones pursued. We want to think, believe, trust, identify with being the one who's always chosen, always a priority, always loved unconditionally. Being happy and fulfilled in relationships. That's what we want to identify as. So our attention, our focus needs to go there. The second place it needs to go on is what version of your specific person you want to be intermingling with. Because if you've been intermingling with a jackass version of them, it's time to change that, which means letting go of the past. Letting go of the past or how they've shown up so far. Holding on to resentments and things you're angry about isn't going to help change them. If anything, it's going to keep them the same. It's going to keep you anchored to a reality where you don't get them. And you know you don't want that. You know you don't. So, the whole point of all of this when you're manifesting a specific person is for you to become the you, or the version of yourself, or get into the state of the version of yourself that has the fulfillment in your love category. So you're starting a brand new identity. If you've been that desperate, needy person, we're dropping that. That's a version of self we're never going to be again. Okay? I could put money down that if you don't change that energy, you won't manifest the fullness you want in that relationship. You won't. Because why are you being desperate and needy? What's the real reason? It's not because you want to be a desperate bitch. It's because there's fear in there somewhere. You're identifying and believing in fear. And I said this in a previous video that I recorded today, that listen, it's not that you're not already a master manifester. It's not that you're not good enough. It's none of the lies we tell ourselves. It's not the fears we believe in or the doubts. We have been trusting and believing in a reality that no longer serves us. Have you ever asked yourself, why is it so easy to believe negative things first? That comes from our conditioning. That's where our trust has been, in a reality that doesn't serve us, in a reality that keeps feeding us failed relationships. Why we keep intermingling with specific people that start out amazing, showering us with love, attention, and affection, and then it slowly fizzles because our shitty limited beliefs start taking over. We believe and accept that so easily. It almost makes sense to us. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised it's fizzling out. Even though it's heartbreaking, I'm not surprised. I expected it. Why did you expect it? Because that was your belief. That was your identity. That was who you believed you were. That's where your trust was. So when we have a belief system, which is simply a state or a version of self, when we have a belief system that our love category sucks, Jesus, poop, Jesus. Or that, relationships just have never worked for you. When we believe that, right? When that's our inner belief, that's what we expect and trust from our 3D. And then we start validating that belief by reminding ourselves of all the times that we were mistreated and didn't get what we want in love. We use all of that against ourselves. We use it as the evidence of what reality we're in, or the evidence of, see, that's been my experience. That's been my identity as the girl or the guy who's had failed relationships. Love isn't easy for me. That's an identity. It's not a fact. You've made it a fact, but it still isn't one. That was easy for you to trust that. See what I'm saying? That was just because of who you were being. That's what you believed about yourself. This is where we're changing that. And you're making a new conscious decision that that's not who you are anymore. You're removing your trust of a shitty 3D. You're moving it and you're putting it into your new self. It's simply a conscious decision. This is who I am now. I'm the self that always has amazing relationships. I'm the self that doesn't have limiting beliefs around love or whatever subject you're manifesting in. But we're talking about specific people today. You can be any version of yourself that you want to be. Every single option, every single type of version of you already exists because creation is finished. You just got to select it. It's a conscious thought. I am my new self. You can call that an affirmation. And that's a good enough affirmation to use. I am my new self. Do you know who new self is when I say that? New self? Do you wonder what new self is? New self is the you that has what you want. But you got to define what that means to you. You have to decide it. That's why I asked you, what do you want love to feel like? I know what I want. What I want is to be treated like a fucking queen. To be unconditionally loved. I want my person to have my sense of humor. I want to be able to laugh with my person. I want to be around them. And I want to feel like they want to be around me. I want to feel fulfilled. I want to feel like I'm with my best friend. I want to feel satisfied. I want to know I'm in the best relationship of my life with the best version of my person. That's what I want. That's what I decided new self was. I'm the me who's always chosen. I'm the me who always is a priority to my person. I'm their number one. That's who I am. I can feel safe and secure and trust that my person is always loyal to me, faithful to me. Because I'm the version of myself that has never had her heart broke. That's another version of me. I refuse to be that version of myself anymore. I don't care what past experiences I may have had. I don't care. But it wasn't instantly easy for me to say that to myself. I had to keep choosing it. Why? Because it was easy for me in my old self to trust the shitty reality that I kept manifesting. Because that felt real to me. That felt safe to believe in shit. Because back then in my victim state, it made more sense to me to just protect myself by thinking it's going to fail. That way it's not a surprise when I get my heart broke. I'm prepared for it. Even that preparing never really stopped me from the pain, from the heartbreak, just saying. But that was my victim state. The point is I didn't give up on my decision to be my new self or be in the state of my wish fulfilled. I kept returning when I would fall out. That's really all you need to do. I want to answer the question too is, why shouldn't we have the talk with a specific person? And I probably should have given more context in the live stream when I got asked about it. Let me give you that context now. The talk that I'm referring to is, you've all been there when you're in your little desperate, needy victim state. You've been seeing your person, you've gone on a couple of dates, and you want to ask them, what are we doing here? What are we defining this as? Are we really in a relationship? Is that what we are? Are we boyfriend, girlfriend? Or girlfriend, girlfriend? Or boyfriend, boyfriend? Is that who we are? Are we going to get married? Is that what we're going to call this now? Can we have a title? Can we name this? Because you haven't brought it up, so I'm not sure what you're thinking. When you are in your decision to be the version of yourself that is having what you want in your love life, you wouldn't need to have that talk. And more than likely, a specific person would reflect that new version of yourself. They'll bring it up themselves. And they'll let you know what they want. What they want is the reflection of the state of you having what you want. So, see what I'm saying? I kept choosing every day. I would start my day telling myself who I was. I didn't always believe it. That was okay. I kept doing it anyway. And guess what happened? SP brought it up. SP said it to me. I'm all in was exactly what I heard. I just want you to know that I'm all in here. I'm all in this. I'm with you. I'm dedicated to you. I want this. You're my person. I choose you. Literally, his words. I didn't have to bring it up. I didn't have to ask, hey, what are we doing? Are we official now? Is everything gonna be perfect now? Are we gonna get married? Are we all the things? Am I your girlfriend? I didn't have to do any of it. My old victim self used to. And my old victim self did, by the way. And you want to know the response I got the first time? This was the victim state me. I got he was in mid-movement, taking off his reading glasses, and he froze. He went, yeah. Yeah, I guess so. Do you think that was a fulfilling response to me at that time? No, because I could see it all over his face. But he was reflecting my victim state. This is my point. I don't mean that you can never have the relationship talk with your person. I'm saying don't do it while you are in your desperate, needy, biatch state. Because you won't get the response you want. Even if they're telling you, yeah, we're in a relationship. You'll be able to see it and feel it. And because you're in that victim, half-assed, desperate, needy, whatever state, their response isn't going to make you feel better anyway. It's not going to fulfill you because you're in the state of fulfillment of not fulfillment. Every state is a state of fulfillment. It's just the direction of what fulfillment you're resonating with. When you're in a desperate, needy state, fulfillment of that state is you manifesting things that keep you desperate and needy. See what I'm saying? Put the focus on who you're being and what you believe about your specific person, and you won't have to have the talk. Do you see what I'm saying? This is the same exact mentality too as when we constantly want to ask why it's not here yet. Why am I not getting movement? You don't have those questions when you are in the wish fulfilled. So it's not that having the questions make you a bad manifester. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you don't feel like you are going to have your manifestation. That's why you ask those questions. You're having a concern that you're not seeing movement or you haven't seen it yet. When you are in the state of having, when you are in the knowing that you will have your manifestation, that you're watching the unfolding of it, you don't question where it is. You only question your 3D like that. Where is it? Why haven't I had any movement? Why does it seem to be taking so long? Because in that moment, you are resonating with either fear of not manifesting it, not being able to do it, afraid manifesting isn't a real thing, or perhaps you're feeling impatient. Impatience is also a reflection of fear. Listen, don't get panicky because you hear me keep using that word fear. All thoughts are based in either love or fear. It's one or the other. I know fear is a strong word, but settle down, Beavis, okay? Settle down. So you see what I'm saying? You don't question anything when you're in the knowing state of the wish fulfilled. You question when you're listening to your doubts, to the fearful thoughts. And again, it's not a big deal that you're having a doubtful thought. That's not a big deal at all. Everybody has them. But remember, it's not because you don't have 100% trust somewhere. And I know I'm bringing up this trust thing a lot, but the thing is, I know that some of you have had the fear. I've had it too, that what if I can't do this? What if I'm not strong enough to do this? All you're experiencing in that moment outside of that specific thought is we are in a habit of trusting our old reality, right? You're breaking the habit of that by being your new self. We're moving our trust elsewhere. We're putting our trust in a new reality. The reality of you getting what you want. And for some of you, that's a huge change. Because perhaps you've had a long life of disappointments. And I understand, right? I'm not just saying, hey, get over it. I don't mean that. What I'm saying is that's why you keep returning to your decision. You keep returning to it. Because as you keep returning, I'm going to tell you right now, you will get what you want. As you start feeling different on the inside, thinking different in the inside, that's usually where I feel the change first. Not for every single manifestation, but for some, especially my love category. The change came within first. Then I started noticing changes in 3D. And as you start to experience things, you're building your trust with your new reality. You're building trust, belief, faith, whatever word you want to use. You just have to keep returning. But we don't chase. We never want to be a desperate ass bitch. We're not desperate. We're running our reality. We're the HBICs, if you're new here, head bitch in charge. Head bitch in charge of your reality. We never, ever, ever chase. Chasing, when you feel that inside, like, oh my God, they haven't texted me today, or they haven't texted me in a week. I'm going to reach out to make sure they're still there, that they haven't forgotten me. Stop. You're in the wrong state. They can't forget you. You have forgotten yourself. You have forgotten who you are. Period. Okay? You've forgotten. They didn't forget you. You forgot. What do I mean by that? We are all connected in consciousness, every single one of us. We are manifesting our desired realities. Your specific person could not ever forget you because you are connected to them 24 motherfucking 7. We are all connected to the one consciousness. God, universe, higher power, source energy. Okay? One universal mind. One universal mind does not imply that you have the only mind or the only mind in your reality. It's really not what it means. Consciousness is all. It's all. We are all, every single one of us, are connected to the one big octopus head, and we're just one of the legs of the octopus. But we're not alone. We're all together, one consciousness. We experience our own realities from our perspectives. So what I'm trying to say is, when you're worried about being in no contact, you're not in no contact. It's not possible. It's not possible. Connected, one consciousness. When you are feeling like you have to go after SP to make sure they're still there so they don't forget about you, you are in the state of not having, period. And listen, you don't want to keep manifesting from that state. You don't want to keep manifesting from that version of self. You don't want to keep experiencing this bullshit. You want what you want. Then you got to be the version of you that has whatever it is you're manifesting. You've got to be it. You don't got to believe that you're it. You just got to keep returning to your decision that you're choosing to be. Everything else will catch up, meaning your feeling in the body, right? The most of the thoughts you're thinking, they'll align with your new self as you keep returning. That's why repetition is our friend. But keeping it real, repetition isn't because you need it to manifest. Repetition is what is making your new version of self, that new state, feel more comfortable to you. When you heavily trust and believe in an old, lack-filled version of yourself, sometimes we need a little more repetition to trust the new self, new state, new version of self, therefore, new reality. The repetition is for you. It's not because the universe needs to hear you affirm 10,000 times in order to give you something. It's not because your subconscious mind needs to hear you affirm 10,000 times to change. It doesn't mean God needs to hear you affirm 10,000 times. It's never that. That is fulfilling you. The repetition is for you to trust that you are your new self, not because God, universe, or your subconscious needs it. I know that one can be a tough pill to swallow, because we've got scientific studies that say that if you think a certain thought a million gazillion times, then it becomes belief. I get all that. But do you feel bound by science? And if you do, I'm probably not the creator for you, because I am someone that only listens to science when they are agreeing with what I believe, because I don't feel bound by science. I don't hate science. If anything, I coach several scientists. So I don't hate science. I don't hate doctors. I don't hate psychologists, therapists. I coach several of each category. But I don't rely on their information to make a decision for myself. I make my own decisions of who I am. When I first started this journey, I believed those type of things. I believed that I had to impress my subconscious mind in order to get. I have learned the very long-winded hard way that I could have just listened to myself made a conscious decision over who I'm choosing to be, and I would have been just fine. Wasn't because I needed the repetition. And I will tell you, once I made that discovery for myself, I have not looked back. But it's because I make my decision with conviction. This is who I am. That's it. And then when it comes to my reality, I detach. So if something pops up in reality that tells me a different story, I detach. Doesn't mean I don't ever get upset. Doesn't mean I never react. I mean, I don't let it limit me. I don't let it tell me I'm not going to get what I want. I detach from it and return to my decision over who I am, and I continue living. I allow my 3D to flow. I see every circumstance as leading me to what my desire is. I don't fight it. I don't try to change every circumstance. I let it flow. I really do look at circumstances as, this doesn't have to make sense to me. I don't have to like it. It's here. I don't have to like you. But I know somehow you are leading me to my end. I know you are. I will tell you though, some of that did come from experience. When I manifested several really shitty things, shitty circumstances, I did see quite clearly how those circumstances were getting me to move into my new state or my new version of self to then get my manifestation. I see that. I see that clearly. So that's how I learned my lesson of, I'm not going to fight against the 3D. I'm not going to lose myself every single time a circumstance pops up that I don't like. I give everything the meaning. Somehow, some way, you're leading me to that desire. God damn, I can't stop hitting this. I really do think that. I really do apply that. I don't say it to you in videos as, fluffer nutter crap. Even though I do love a fluffer nutter sandwich, I sure do. I'm not just saying it because it sounds good. I'm saying it because I utilize that. I apply that to my life. I allow and I let flow my 3D because I know what my decision is. I've learned, Kim, choose it. Choose it and stand in it. And you can trust what you're deciding for yourself. And it's enough. And it is enough. And it does work. You are building the relationship with yourself. But with specific person, we don't chase, we don't beg. They don't forget. We decide who we are, and then they reflect. And remember, when I say you decide who you are, you decide to be the version of yourself that has the relationship with your person. But remember, I mean it. What you believe about your specific person matters. So if you still think that there's someone that's never going to change, that is part of who you are identifying as. You're either the version of self who's in a loving, fulfilling, committed relationship with the version of your specific person that is showing up and choosing you and loving you unconditionally, or you're not. See what I'm saying? What you believe about them matters. So if you believe that they're a player, or she's only with you for your money, or whatever shitty belief you might have, you've got to choose that you don't have that anymore. That's not who you are. You know that they are their best version too. And then allow it by detaching from the 3D. But we don't chase. Unless you enjoy that chasing energy, that nervous tension, the worrying because they haven't texted back yet. Unless you enjoy those moments, well then, by God, keep doing it and let me know how that works for you. Just saying. But if you're anything like me and you just want to feel good, you just want to feel safe and secure that your person loves you and wants to be with you, then you're going to want to choose to be the version of yourself that comfortably and confidently is that new self and has the most amazing relationship with the most amazing version of SP. And then you'll have it, just like me. So anyways, I hope I have explained everything well. If you have any questions about this video, please feel free to leave it in the comments below. Also, any video requests, comments below. I take screenshots. And that's where I get my ideas from. Outside of the ideas from most of my videos come from super chat questions that didn't get answered in live streams. Just saying. Okay, so on this note, I'll see you tomorrow. Also, I wanted to let you know that today you have the pleasure of the background sound effects of my dryer and my dog, who's sitting literally right here, right behind me. Just saying. So, back to you. No, back to me. Him. Are you fucking kidding me? Hours have gone by without any cars. Hours. I hit fucking record, reminding ourselves of all. The snoring is unreal. So rude. It's so rude. Do you mind? You don't, do you? It's okay. Thank you. Too much. Too much. Okay. Pretty girl. Pretty girl. Pretty girl. And she's so pretty. You're so pretty. Bitch, I'm beautiful. That's what she said. I heard her. Is really the wrong sound, unless, of course, you enjoy chasing them. Poop. You're killing me.